the hell do you have on? So
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest misconceptions in perfumery these days is that freshness is a singular idea. As though citrus is just citrus, as though clean is just clean. And to me, speaking about perfumery in a way that we could talk about summer freshness, as though every summer freshness is simply attempting to smell refreshing. And that's a little conundrum for me sometimes. The truth is far more interesting because, in a way, freshness is much like elegance. It can be expressed in countless ways. And one perfumer may pursue luminosity in a way, another may pursue texture, another may even pursue contrast, and another may pursue power of hidden restraint, which I talked about in my last video with my pillars. Today, I want to discuss in examining 6 fragrances that all, thrive in warm weather. They come off in different ways, yet none of them arrive at their destination using the same route. And I love to talk about that in perfumery these days. Each represents a distinct interpretation of what sophisticated summer dressing can smell like, summer scenting can smell like. One of the favorite fragrances of mine this summer going in is going to be from the brand of Roger Parfums. That's Oceania. That's my scent of the day. And it's not even on this list. It's just one I had in my hand, was contemplating wearing today, and end up going with it and been having a beautiful time with it. Oceania, of course, now that I'm speaking about it, will come in a video very, very soon. But this is a fabulous, fabulous, spicy citrus fragrance with a little bit of woody, mineralic, earthy, flinty, oceanic vibe to it. This list, though, like I said, 6 fragrances that come off competitive in the world of perfumery. And if that sounds like the type of content that you think you'll enjoy, pull up a seat, pour a glass, and of course, let's enhance. Now, as we get straight to it, one that is on this list is Neroli Portofino from the brand of Tom Ford. So the architecture of this one is very bright. That's what it's all built on, Neroli Portofino. It begins just beautiful soapiness, white florals, and just comfort when it comes to fragrances. Most recognizable Mediterranean style of fragrance and expression in modern perfumery, if I must say so myself, is Neroli Portofino. This is one of those fragrances that really put soapy fragrances in my collection, in my rotation for high summer heat. What fascinates me here isn't the citrus though, it's the construction. Most people vibe with this one when I wear it because the experience of this fragrance is more about the lemon, the bergamot, neroli, and the way it comes about in beautiful, beautiful sunshine. You wear this on a vacation, you wear this in a sunny day, even in the city, you're going to smell fabulous. But what makes it more exceptional is how transparent it feels. That's why I actually like it in those essences, because transparency in perfumery is incredibly difficult to manufacture. Creating something of freshness is easy, but creating something of freshness that feels expressive is kind of hard right now. And I see that in so many fragrances that hit and miss. But Neroli Portofino, it feels as though the light itself has been given texture. That it feels very, very thick in this particular fragrance, very dense. The way the Neroli comes across, it never feels cluttered though. It feels beautifully done. The way it behaves on skin is like this, just sweet breeze and this linen vibe that you can wear with this on a coastal breeze of the Mediterranean Ocean. Neroli Portofino. In the technical achievement, it is luminosity, and that is the aesthetic of achievement. That is effortless sophistication. So as a competitive fragrance in my list of rotation this summer, this is going to go high on my list as I go out in my days and nights to see what the vibe is, see how to come across. Neroli Portofino is one for the bosses. Get your nose on it if you have not. Next on this list is another favorite of mine, a study in balance. If Neroli Portofino is kind of like the sunlight in the fragrance, Amyris Pour Homme is one of those fragrances that is tailored like the smoothest of cashmeres. Amyris Pour Homme is one of the most perfectly constructed, balanced, masculine fragrances ever composed, in my honest opinion. And I think if you put this against many fragrances in the day and date, it comes across just that way. Not because it's complex, but because it is one that it understands proportions. It understands how the mandarin comes across and it provides brightness, how the amyris resin contributes to the warmth of this one, how the iris creates its elegance, and then how the woods create structure. Nothing is perfect. Nothing protrudes though. Nothing dominates, but nothing is really laying in wait. It's all this perfect balance. Everything exists in a conversation with each other. Cohesiveness is what this fragrance is all about. And that's why I think I love it so much, because its greatest strength is the way that it demonstrates the restraint. And I think that's one of my traits right now, living in the fragrance world, is just the restraint of a fragrance. The fragrance is of equivalent of a gentleman who never raises his voice because he never has to. No frustration. He has a temperament that is above reproach, as I love to say. The technical accomplishment of this one, though, here I'd say is harmony. No projection is greatly intense. The intensity isn't there. It feels and smells great around you, but harmony, point blank, is what you get from Amyris. And that's why I love this fragrance. And I think, like I said, if you search for this fragrance online, you're going to hear the same thing often. How beautifully it's constructed, how well it comes across, and how effortless you can wear this fragrance and be smelling like the most handsome gentleman in the room. This is a great fragrance, guys. Get your nose on it. In my competitive list, this is 6 fragrances, including the one I just mentioned as my fragrance of the day, Oceania. These are all wonderful summer fragrances meant for the gentleman for 20 to 50. If you are wearing this fragrance, you are smelling fantastic, sophisticated, elegant, handsome, alluring. That's what it's all about. Once again, Amyris Pour Homme from the brand of Maison Francis Kurkdjian. Next, let's get into one from Boadicea. This is my collection of Boadicea is growing ever so slightly now, but it's growing in fascinating leaps and bounds the way that the perfumes are capturing me. This is one, along with the brethren fragrance for the summertime, Lanocea, are just wonderful fragrances. But when I digress, the freshness in this one, this is Aqua Sapphire. This is luxury interpretation of freshness to me. This is how we move in different territory. This is Aqua Sapphire, like I stated, and it is not one of those, it's not really, I'll say it's not interested in transparency like Neroli Portofino. It's more interested in presence. It's when you are presenting yourself at a higher level. Many fresh fragrances remove weight. This one does not. It adds. It has this abundance, this factor of depth and overwhelming. Just it has behoove you when you wear this fragrance to look. How can I say this? Just being how heavy an aqua fragrance is something that I don't expect. The richness, I should say, is the word I'm looking for, at how good this is. And beneath that, it lives in the richness. Beneath all the aqua notes, the wood notes, the watery essence of it, the actual fruit notes inside of it, it lives inside of a rich dimension. And that's why I think I have fallen in love with this one for the summertime. And it wasn't one that was heavily on my radar until this year, and it came in and sampled a little vial and became very much so knowing that this would be a great fragrance in my collection, and have been wearing it this summer in a spectacular fashion, getting great compliments with this particular fragrance. This is where many, fragrances like this is where many luxury houses distinguish themselves. This is where Boadicea has distinguished itself in the Sapphire collection. Exalted type of fragrance. This one, rather than just merely, smelling refreshing, this smells valuable. This smells, expensive. Aqua Sapphire, it feels and smells polished. It smells expensive, like I stated. It smells intentional. And it is the olfactive equivalent of arriving at a yacht club type of event or type of scenario when you're wearing this one. It's perfectly fitted for that cashmere navy blazer, that unstructured linen blazer that just comes off so well. That Isaiah, that Brioni, that even that polo, not being pretentious in that way. You can wear a beautiful blazer from any manufacturer with this particular fragrance to dinner, to the movies, to late night golf, with the ladies, just having fun. This is what this is about. This is a prestigious fragrance that smells of real objective. Qualifying itself in my collection is a great one. Once again, this is Aqua Sapphire. Get your nose on it if you have not. This is a good one, fellas. Gentlemen, next up in this collection, distinguished and competitive fragrances on the market and in my collection. My wardrobe is one of a fascinating collection, I must say. And this one here is one of those list toppers when it comes to competitive fragrances to wear in the summer and springtime. And most ultimately, the summertime. This is Controlled Use of Power. Vixere is just one of Electimuss' most wonderful smelling composed fragrances. One of the mistakes enthusiasts make as assuming strength and loudness are synonymous. And you know how I try to describe against that. But Vixere, it proves otherwise. You know, this is a fragrance that has this authority to it. And it rarely is one of those fragrances, how I like to say that it shouts. It's one that really blends in. It's aromatic materials create this movement around you, this aura around you that smells beautiful. And then it has this great creative leather gravity to it, which is great. Then the spices create this energy for it, and the woods provide structure inside this one. And then ultimately, you know, this is built around one of the most fascinating white florals. And what fascinates me most about Vixere is its tension. It has this push and pull through those contrasts of push, pull, between freshness and depth, and between refinement and masculinity, between elegance and command, you know, that power struggle. And a fragrance can do that not only for your mindset, but for your actual attention grabbing. The result of this fragrance, it feels like an executive rather than a recreational. You know, this is a warm weather, sophisticated, viewed through lens of power type of fragrance. And that's one that you must have in your collection. If it's Vixere from the brand of Electimuss or Valiant from the brand of Boadicea, they go synonymous hand in hand if you ask me. And it's a powerful elixir that just comes off so well. This is one of the best smelling in the air fragrances on the market. Once again, the brand of Electimuss in the scent of Vixere, one of the greats. Get your nose on it if you have not, like I like to say. Next on this list, texture over freshness. That's all it is. Contralto from Sospiro is perhaps the most artistic fragrance in this entire discussion, because to me, its objective is brightness, but it is not. Its objective to me more or less is just that brightness, but texture. You know, think velvet, think satin, think, you know, golden light reflecting against, you know, polished wood. That's the type of fragrance this is, while also still having that balance of freshness and white florals and essence of allure and attractiveness. You know, Contralto, it demonstrates that fragrance that, you know, it can remain suitable for warm temperatures without being traditionally fresh, so to speak. Instead of using a lot of citruses, it creates the movement through contrast. Instead of transparency, it kind of creates this intrigue through richness. And it's one of those fragrances that just comes off hour after hour, just smelling the room, smelling you, rewarding you. And then it actually gets so much positive attention. It's just a compliment magnet. And the longer you spend with this one, the more fascinating it becomes. It's just one of those type of fragrances. And one of the great situations with that is that it has this great artistic perfumery behind it. If you haven't smelled the scent of Contralto, I suggest that you do. It's one of those fragrances, Baldi Freak, Hanuman, what else? You know, several different fragrances in this genre come off smelling phenomenal. This is one of the tier fragrances that if you grab it, just like the others, you get ultimate inattention. And it is actually one of the best vacation fragrances as well. This is the destination type of scent. But competitively speaking, what this list is about, putting you in great rotation with a great wardrobe capsule that gives you great attention. And this is one of those captivating, competitive fragrances that I think all men should get their nose on. Once again, this is Contralto from the brand of Sospiro. Last on the list, I'm going to have to give me a full bottle of this. This one is contrast designed, you know, through this demand, demand for a fragrance that was, I'll say the philosophy behind this one is ultimately that it's a flanker of one of the best selling perfumes of all time. This is Angel Share on the Rocks. And to me, what they've done with this one, like I said, it's a philosophy to this one. It was about creating the atmosphere of Angel Share by giving it just a little freshness for the summer. And perhaps most interestingly, technically achieving that for today's lineup. This is the best in that type of realm when I talk about technical achievement. All these scents profiles are just fascinating. They're wonderful. Like I said, it's a list for today's, competition, so to speak. If you want to go out in any way, business, leisure, evening, elegance, night or daily, you're going to smell just debonair, fascinating, wonderful, handsome, alluring, sexual, sexy. All 6 of these fragrances are spectacular ones to have in your collection. But like I said, technically, this is the one that really grasps at straws when competing, because it has that weather of fall vibe in it, but it also is built with the freshness of an opening that is providing something of a technical draw, because the fragrance, it exists entirely because of contrast. And that's warm against cool. That's boozy against freshness. And that's a wild, wild way to get a fragrance to come across. Boozy freshness, you know, richness against airiness. These are things that I love to talk about in perfumery that really grasp me. The original Angel Share was one of an evening type of fragrance by the fireplace. This one here is a version that feels like it's expensive whiskey served on crystal clear glass and with tumblers, you know, and ice all around it. It's a refreshing summer evening, a cocktail, so to speak. And the brilliance lies in the preserving of the emotional DNA while changing the temperature of the fragrance. I think that's what I'm trying to get across to you mostly. This is much harder than creating a new fragrance entirely too. You know, that's why I talk about it in a technical way, because we can have fragrances that are brand new to the market that really captivate. But when you make a fragrance that is built for fall and winter, and you demonstrate that it can come across in spring and summer fabulous with the scent profile just from just tweaking it, that's a head-turning stunner for you. And that's what they've done with this one. This fragrance demonstrates that freshness doesn't always require citruses either, because sometimes freshness comes from contrast, as I'm stating in this particular video. And that to me is something that few fragrances can illustrate. You know, that's a beautiful principle. And this one makes that principle even better. You know, this is Angel Share on the Rocks from the brand of by Kilian. So, gentlemen, when viewed collectively, these fragrances reveal something fascinating to me. Just all 6 of them, including the 7th we want to talk about, at Oceania, which I'll talk about in a different video. They all pursue something that smells sophisticated in summer. You know, Neroli Portofino, it pursues the light. That is great. Amyris pour Homme from Maison Kurkdjian, it pursues balance. Aqua Sapphire from the brand of Boadicea, it pursues a prestigious type of scent profile. Vixere from the brand of Electimuss, it's a quiet comfort but also authority driven with power behind that particular scent. And then Contralto pursues this beautiful texture to a fragrance. Then of course Angel Share on the Rock pursues that contrast, that velvety smooth DNA change. 6 different objectives, 6 different philosophies, 6 different temperatures for warm weather elegance that just keep you going. Great competitive fragrances, as I'm saying in this video, for your life and your wardrobe of perfume. And that, gentlemen, is what separates collecting fragrances from understanding perfumery. We can all go out and purchase fragrances, but understanding what your wardrobe needs, that's a different story. Sometimes we can just go way too deep into others' opinions. That's why I often say share your opinion, but also get out there and sample, because sampling is the best way for you to spend your money when you're talking about all these fragrances that are coming out nowadays. But I digress from that and say that the moment you stop asking which fragrance is best, that's when you start picking your ultimate wardrobe and begin asking, each fragrance, is it trying to achieve something in my wardrobe? Your appreciation deepens drastically, just like mine has with these 6 fragrances over time, because every great fragrance isn't about simply smelling wonderful. It isn't about just simply the smell. It's the idea of it. It's the great perfume artistry behind it. These 6 happen to be the smell of exceptional summer. That's why they went on this list. That's why I'm bringing them to you. As always, scent is memory, collecting its legacy, and community is culture. We here at the Dry Down, we are the culture. Until next time, stay blessed, stay bold, stay balanced. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.